Greetings, dear ones. I'm Cryon of Magnetic Service.
Grüße, meine Liebsten. Ich bin der Kraion vom magnetischen Dienst.
We speak about truth,
Wir sprechen über die Wahrheit.
and it seems that everyone has their own truth.
Es scheint, als ob jeder...
What about what Cryon has taught for 26 years?
Was hat uns Kraion während...
Does it align with what you just heard in this temple of contrast?
Stimmt das überein über das, was
Of all of the temples I knew you would see,
von allen Tempeln, in denen ich dachte,
this
dass hier sie sehen,
is my favorite.
ist dies mein...
Let me go into this a little bit.
Und jetzt vertiefen wir uns.
Do you see some of the things that I have taught in the West?
Seht ihr hier einige Dinge, die ich...
I am surrounded by those who are on a Cryon tour.
Ich bin umgeben von
The thousands who will listen to this recording
Tausende werden die
will know of Cryon.
Registrierung.
And yet here we sit in Egypt,
Und hier sitzen
and the walls and the artwork reveal the stories.
und die...
If the truth is the truth, the stories should be the same.
Die Wahrheit ist die Wahrheit.
And they are.
Und sie sind es.
In a moment, I'm going to tell you why this is my favorite temple.
In einem Moment werde ich euch das
But first, let's look at the teachings.
aber zuerst lasst
How many times have you heard the word color in the teachings from the guides?
Farbe gehört.
And the answer is all the time.
Die Antwort ist,
How many times has Cryon talked about colors?
wie oft hat Kraion von Farben gesprochen?
And how many? And what about the number 7? We'll talk about that in a moment.
Auch darüber.
What about the chakras? Are there colors? How many? These are the things that are echoed in the artwork in the walls.
Dies sind Dinge, die sich in den...
Let me reinforce the wisdom of the guides who are giving you the information here.
Ich möchte die
Number 1.
Informationen geben hier. Nummer 1.
As you gaze upon the artwork on the walls of this temple
Wenn ihr die Kunst
that tell the magnificent story and the teaching and the healing,
dann werdet ihr
ask yourself, do you think that the ancients, who were master artists, painted brown on brown?
braun auf braun gemalt haben?
And that's what you see today.
Das ist, was ihr heute seht.
Dear ones,
Meine Lieben,
it's already been mentioned,
es wurde schon erwähnt.
but I want you to look at it with a new eye.
Schaut euch das
Everything here is in vivid color.
alles hier ist.
Look closely. You can still see it after all of these years.
Schaut ganz nach.
I will say this again when we are in other places.
Ich werde das wiederholen.
The temple was painted in color, and not subtle color,
Und nicht schwache Farben.
vivid color. Egyptians, they love color, and they still do to the day.
Bis heute.
What else do you know about color?
Vielleicht was wisst
It has vibration.
ihr? Sie haben
Has the guide spoken of vibration of sound? And the answer is yes.
der Töne gesprochen.
Even ask you to tone some of the names. The ancients here
Die Ahnen
knew of these things and the significance of these things,
und die Bedeutung dieser Dinge.
not just the colors and the light,
Nicht nur Farben und Licht,
but the sound.
aber der Ton.
So I will get ahead of myself.
Ich werde jetzt
In certain times in Egypt, the sarcophaguses of the pharaohs were all tuned to a certain vibration.
die Sarkophage der Pharaonen,
If you could then strike one softly, it would vibrate 440 vibrations per second.
dann vibrierte das.
What do you know about Tibetan numerology?
Was heißt
That the 44 is a master number.
44 ist
It's the next one we are headed for as humans,
der Meister.
as civilization.
Menschen erreichen.
Do you find it a coincidence
Ist das ein
that was the tuning for the afterlife?
dass das im
A master number that Tibet's gave you, that somehow was known in ancient Egypt.
Die war bekannt im.
What did I tell you 2 years ago
Was habe ich euch vor 2 Jahren gesagt?
about how the ancient women in Lemuria would birth their children? They were in water. And what do you know that you found out today?
Und was
That it was here as well.
war,
It was here because the wisdom was here.
weil die Weisheit war.
The wisdom? This is the temple of contrasts.
Dies ist der Tempel.
I wish to call it the temple of creation.
Ich würde es
For in contrasts there is duality.
weil in Kontrast
The choice of humans between
die Wahl, die die Menschen treffen
struggle
müssen,
and joy,
sind
between love
wie zwischen
and difficulty and drama.
Schwierigkeit und Drama.
It is all shown on the walls
Es steht alles an der
in
Welt
various degrees.
in verschiedenen.
Let me ask you something. What is the creation story around the planet?
Was ist die Schöpfungsgeschichte?
The creation story is this,
Das ist folgendes.
that an angelic presence
Eine engelhafte Präsenz
gave humanity
gab der Menschheit
the difference between light and dark,
den Unterschied
the start of consciousness,
den Bewusstsein.
where humans could choose light and dark,
Die Menschen konnten
where there was no
Licht
judgment.
und Dunkelheit,
This
ohne dass es
is the creation story.
das ist die Schöpfungsgeschichte.
Whether it's the one in Egypt on the walls or whether it is the one in Scripture
Diejenige ist
in Eden,
auf den Wänden von
it is the same.
oder in den Büchern über.
I have been teaching you for 26 years that it has come from the stars.
Von seit 26
What do the walls say here?
Sternen kam.
Where did Isis
Was
come
waren die
from?
Mauern?
Where did Hathor come from?
Woher kam Al-Hathor?
Both interdimensional
Beide waren
from the stars.
von den Sternen gekommen.
Do you see the truth here?
Seht ihr
It doesn't hide much
es?
from what I have told you
Sie weicht nicht
to
auf
what the
euch
guides
auf.
in all of their wisdom have told you.
Sie weicht nicht auf der
Let me
Spur,
ask
die
you
ich
this.
erzählt habe.
What happens to a human being
Was geschieht da?
when they start to choose compassion and joy and
Wenn
wisdom
beginnt, ist
instead of drama and anger
und Wut
and struggle?
und Kampf?
And the answer?
Die Antwort?
Healing.
Heilung.
Dear ones, welcome to one of the highest healing temples in Egypt.
Willkommen zu einem.
So what is it, Cryon?
Was
Is it a temple of duality?
ist das ein Tempel der Dualität
Or is it a temple perhaps of healing?
oder ist es ein Tempel
Or one of creation?
oder ein Tempel von Schöpfung?
And the answer is all of the above.
Und die Antwort ist, alles gehört dazu.
The wisdom of the stars is
Die
here.
Weisheit der Sterne ist hier.
The alignment to the stars is here.
Die Verbindung zu den
And the more you read about what has happened,
Und je mehr ich habe,
the more the truth and the wisdom of humanity starts to appear.
Wahrheit und die Weisheit,
All that I have given you
alles, was ich euch gegeben habe,
for the West in all of these years
in all die
is written on the walls in vivid color in this place.
steht auf dem
It is my favorite temple.
Es ist,
It means that it is truly one of healing.
das heißt, es
For if you can understand what it is being said with the drawings,
wenn ihr versteht,
there is nothing you cannot heal.
gibt es
I have said this many times.
habe das mehrfach gesagt,
As goes the consciousness of the human being, goes the health of the human being.
wie das Bewusstsein der Menschen
All disease represents struggle of consciousness.
verkörpert,
Anything that you wish to heal this moment
immer ihr jetzt
can be done.
kann geheilt.
Dear ones, you sit in a healing place
Ihr sitzt in
of high consciousness and teaching,
hohem Bewusstsein.
given mostly by women.
Das meiste,
That is the theme.
das ist es.
Look for it over and over.
Sucht das
Slowly over the ages, look for the equality between the man and the woman.
über die Jahre.
the respect from each one,
der Respekt,
the sharing of power and wisdom between the two.
Kraft und Weisheit.
But it will always be the woman
Es wird immer
who touches the face of God first.
die es zuerst berühren.
There is more to see here in this great place.
Mehr zu
There is truth here,
Das hat er,
written on the walls.
die steht an den Wänden.
May you always drink from the Nile. And so it is.